I'm taking a walk through my garden, right? And then this is my beautiful garden. Ready? Just wait. These are Joseph's pumpkins that are all coming up. All his pumpkin project. These will take off. And we, hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have quite a few pumpkins. So keep us in mind for your pumpkins this year. These are like jack-o'-lantern type pumpkins. And then we have this amazing garden that has, quite frankly, gotten somewhat out of control. This happens every year when I'm working and it's really hot. So beautiful. You gotta tie up all this. Tons of tomatoes coming and beans. Lots and lots of them are popping up everywhere. These are our peppers. Actually, let me see. My lettuce over on this side has sort of gotten out of control. More peppers, more tomatoes, so many tomatoes. I've got so much work to do in this garden, but you know what, it's okay. Look at all these. Tomatoes. What do I have here? Peppers. Let's see what else. My basil starting to bolt, so I have to snip off the ends. This, I can't even tell you how good it smells. All our little yellow pear tomatoes. Peppers. More peppers coming. Anyhow, so much amazing stuff in the garden. These are I didn't even plant marigolds. These are marigolds that we found. Look at these. These are all the ones the kids planted from seed. So if you guys picked up the organic plant starts, this is, can you show me with your hand how big that is? These are all been planted by the kids this year. None of this was a plant start that we bought in a store. These are all planted from seed. And I have pruned quite a few of these already. These are heirloom marigolds that Shaun just found growing in our garden from last year, and he just kind of took them. The kids are screaming their ears off, and they're jumping in puddles. I can't even show you. There's so many tomatoes in there. And now this is essentially, this isn't really ideal because tomatoes you want to prune so they get good airflow, but I need to get in here and do some work on it. Anyhow, you can see this gorgeous garden. These are all my Roma tomatoes. So these are all the ones that are my sauce tomatoes that are coming up. Let me see. Look at these. More peppers. Can you show me the other one? Banana peppers. Oh my gosh, look at how many there are. That's crazy. This is what happens when you build your soil. So this is, one thing Shaun has always done, just gotten better and better and better at. These are scarlet runner beans. They're starting to pop out. They're starting to come. One of the things that so everywhere you see these beans, these will all be, see how they're starting to grow? We'll be having everywhere. These will all be beans coming off of the ends. Everywhere you see the yellow flowers will be tomatoes. Holy mackerel, I better get my canning equipment going. So Shaun's always focused a lot on soil health. Right, babe?
Yeah, that's my thing.
It's his thing. So we're walking through the garden and looking at this this gorgeous garden. Next year we're hoping that our other side is as finished as this one is. So right here we've got, what are these, zucchini, Shaun?
Yep.
We've got zucchini coming. This one didn't make it, so we planted a new one. And these are cucumbers. Cucumbers coming up. 3 different kinds of cucumbers. We probably planted our cucumbers, quote unquote, a little late, but as you can see, there's still plenty of time. So we got cucumbers, and then these are summer squash. We've got tons of little summer squashes coming. Let me see. As you can see, lots of little ones coming out. Oh my gosh. Let me see. And then these are beans.
More beans.
And then we haven't finished these yet. We're getting there. So we're walking through this garden that's so beautiful, by the way, babe. Thank you for all your hard work. And we get all the way to here, right? And what is Shaun excited about? Is he excited about the prolifically beautiful overflowing garden beds? Is this what he starts getting excited about? No. This is what he gets excited about. Tell me what you...
Look at this beautiful compost pile, like I call it. And this smelly compost tea.
So this is what he gets real worked up about. Tell me what your magic is, babe.
You just put a bunch of weeds.
Say it nice and loud.
A lot of weeds. There's biochar in there. There's manure in there. There's chicken manure, cow manure, you name it. A lot of good stuff.
And then it just ferments in there and steeps. And
plants love it.
Say it again.
The plants love it.
The plants
Just
love
look
it.
at it.
Just look at them. The plants love it. This is like the best natural fertilizer. And then Shaun, what do we have here for compost? This is your new compost bin? You just started this one today, right?
Yes.
So this is this all the wood chips that came out of the duckling brooder?
Some of the duckling brooder and some of the chicken
manure,
and
the hen house. So this is
the weeds that I just went around the yard chopping.
Yeah, so this is like his favorite thing to do.
Seed.
Before they went to seed, so we just put our ducklings outside in our pond, and they're down in our pond that our pig pen is around, and they're doing well. They're all living down there now. And so we cleaned out the brooder, and he put some of all that, all the shavings that were all soaked up with the duck manure and everything. He put that in here, and then he layered it with just weeds. He was kind of, digging up from the yard before they went to seed, and then he'd put more layers of the wood chips from the chicken coop, and then more weeds, and just sort of like, you want your greens and your browns, and your greens and your browns are nice and wet. Keep it wet, and that'll heat up and really break down. And what happens there?
At the end of the year, we'll probably just top dress all these beds for winter. With some of this and all the leaves, and that'll just make that soil much better for next year.
Okay, so I know my phone's sometimes hard to hear, but he was saying we're going to fill this all the way up, and as it breaks down, when it comes time in the fall to get all the garden beds ready for the fall, we will just undo this ring, and whatever's broken down here, he'll use that as a top dressing on all of the garden beds, and then some leaves and stuff to hold the moisture in, and all of that nutrition will go into our garden beds and just make them even better. So this is where Shaun is a master, is at feeding the soil. Do we need to prune back our plants? Yes, we do. Do we need to give our garden some tender loving care? Yes, we do. But you can see how prolific it is. And if you feed your soil, you put back into your soil really good nutrition, your soil will feed you. So this is our, oh, look at my echinacea. They're all coming back. We pruned those all back really heavily and used them in some of our flower bouquets this year. And so our goal is to plant more perennials and get our flower gardens going, so that way we can look at all these other peppers. These are different. These are jalapenos. So here's the other thing that we try to do is we try to find our plants that are friends. So we do a lot of companion planting. Now our garden's overgrown, but we kind of always shoot for peppers with, so we grow our peppers with our tomatoes. They go together really well. And I will plant marigolds, nasturtium, basil in with my peppers. Is this a different basil? Oh no, this is peppers. Okay, different type of pepper. So, so I typically plant tomatoes, peppers, basil, marigolds, and then I'll put like lettuce along the bottom or other things to, and I will put nasturtiums. If I have a climbing plant nearby, I like to put beans, and just kind of utilize all that space in the garden. Oh my gosh, I'm realizing how much I need to get out here, but it is so beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. So those plants tend to go really well together. Basil, tomatoes, peppers, marigolds, nasturtium. I'm trying to think of what else, but those are our go-tos usually. Usually we'll have some beneficial flowers, pollinators, and peppers and tomatoes help improve the flavor of each. And the marigolds and nasturtiums will help repel pests, and some of them are trap crop, so they'll go and they'll feed on the nasturtiums instead of on the plants that you want, and these help improve the flavor of each other. So all we planted were 1, 2, 3, 4 pepper plants, and then near our trellis we planted 2 tomatoes and let them grow up. And then so this was 1 basil plant. We have a couple of marigolds and they just kind of took off. But you can see that our beans and our tomatoes are kind of intertwined, so we'll get crops from these as they're going over. These will all start hanging down. I think we're starting to get more beans coming out. And we'll get them from both sides and be able to harvest under here. And then our tomatoes will also use this trellis. So, yep. Very excited. I love going through the garden. I'll be perfectly honest with you that Shaun probably does more of the work, and I like to plant and plan it out and tell him what to do, and he just comes in and makes it happen. So these are actually, what are these ones? These are suckers. These are the ones that we just like pulled off of our tomato plants and stuck them in the grow bags that we had nearby. I didn't know what to do with them, so we just broke off the suckers. And if you break off a sucker from your tomato and you stick it in the ground, you water it, it'll turn into a new tomato plant. And when a sucker is like this, so here's your main plant, and so see this little one that's growing between your main stalk and then your branch, that'll become a new tomato plant, because tomatoes will grow roots along where all these little hairy ends are. They're trying to grow roots. So if I let that grow a little bit more and then I broke it off and stuck it in the ground, then you end up with tomato plants. So now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna preserve everything. So I know, I need to tie it up. These tomatoes do like to be able to have good airflow, so this is not the best way to do it. But to be honest, we've noticed in the past for us, it's worked as long as they're healthy and they're really got a lot of nutrition. You know, I'll tie these ends up. We end up doing okay. You can see that we're getting a lot of tomato crop. I'm excited, babe. You excited?
Also.
Good work. Like, subscribe, and share to Full and Family Farm to follow the adventures of our family of 8 that moved cross country from the city in New England to the Missouri Ozarks to start a farm with no experience. And do we ever do everything perfectly? No, but if we can do it, so can you.